about hot girl summer, but you best believe I'm gonna have a hot reader summer this year. And hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well. For those of you who are new here, my name is Mishti and I love all things bookish, and this is finally that time of the year where you get to build your own summer TBR, and I have such a wonderful list of books to talk about in this video. And these books are just going to make you feel so much, and these are books that just smell like sunscreen and heartbreak, and if that isn't the best combination, if that's not what you're looking for, I don't know what is going to convince you to read these books. Because in this list we've got beach reads, we've got sad girl summer reads, we've got fake dating, found family, dramatic sisters, and of course a lot of angst. Living in Delhi, I am probably the first person who's gonna keep saying that I hate summers, I hate being out in the heat, it's so humid, it's so sweaty, and I am a die-hard winter person. But what I do like is sitting in my house and curling up with a summer read. So if you're like me, and or if you're going on a vacation, which I'm so jealous for, I hope you have a good vacation. But if you're going on a vacation, going to the beach anytime soon, I think these books are perfect for that. So yeah, and also just like I hope you guys can help me manifest a beach vacation, because Delhi is just ruining my life, and it's just so hot, it's so humid, and it's just April and it's so miserable. So I have my end semester exams next month, and I have no idea how I'm gonna sit for 3 hours and write my exam in excruciating heat. But I'm deviating. So anyways, I don't know when I'm gonna end up at the beach, but what I can make sure is that my books feel beachy and summery. So I have got the perfect lineup for you and for your hot reader summer. So let's just go straight to the recommendations. Let's go. The first book I'm going to talk about is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and I read this like, I don't know, 2 years ago, but it just still comes back to me, and I still can't like get over the book because it was just so brilliant. I rated 5 stars, and this is the perfect quintessential summer book, and I don't think you can find a book more summery than this. Okay, so picture this: you're 13, it's summer, the boy next door just like becomes your best friend, and then you make friendship bracelets, you hang out on docks, you swap dreams, and you have endless conversations with him. But he wants to be a doctor and you want to be a writer, and that sounds perfect, like a rom-com setup. But that's when things go wrong, because for 6 hours they were like the epitome of a happy couple, and even when they weren't a couple, when they weren't together, even then it was brilliant, like they were brilliant together. And one big mistake just leaves everything crumbling and everything falls apart. So flash forward to 12 years, Percy, the main character, is living in the city, avoiding all things emotional, when she gets a call that Sam's mom has passed away. And suddenly that's when she revisits the small town. She's there, she's standing in front of the guy she never thought she'd see again. And this book is just so warm, it's so bittersweet, it's like the ultimate summer book, and it's so full of nostalgia. It's a second chance romance, and it has a lot of heartbreak, and it's just so interesting. And so you basically bounce back between the past and the present, and you slowly uncover what happened all those years ago, and just you end up rooting for them to finally get their happy ever after. Because let's be honest, some summers and a lot of people are really unforgettable. So the main characters, they had 6 summers to fall in love, but now they have just one summer to fall back in love, and this was just so incredible. I can't recommend this enough. I recommended it to my friend, she loved it, and so that's also your side. So I'm sure you're also gonna love it. So please do read Every Summer After. It's so good. I rated 5 stars. I love that book. So I can't find my copy again, like the spacing issue I told you about. So my books are just like in huge stacks in my wardrobe, and if I remember correctly, Every Summer After is like bilkul niche right under that stack. So I can't show it to you, but like here's the cover. So what we're going to talk about is, I've already talked about this so much, I've recommended it to so many people, and the next one I want to talk about is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I know I talk about it a lot, I know I talk about Taylor Jenkins Reid a lot, but she just knows how to write icons. Because Nina Riva, the protagonist of the book, she's hosting a party at her Malibu mansion, and the Riva siblings, basically they are all ready to celebrate the end of summer. And here's the thing, Rivas are not your average family, because Mick Riva, the father of Nina Riva, he's a rock star and he abandoned his family, he abandoned his wife, and their lives are not what you would expect you and our lives to be like. So Nina, the protagonist, I just basically want to give her the biggest hug ever, and she has just been through it all. She has been dumped by her protagonist male husband. There's a lot of drama there, there's a lot of family tension, and the siblings, they have their own secrets. The story unravels through 24 hours. You get flashbacks to Riva and her wife's relationship, their troubled history, and how that influenced the siblings' lives. So basically, I just know you're gonna be crying, you're gonna be laughing, and you're just gonna be so hooked in. And this is just one of those books that I think, also just like any Taylor Jenkins Reid book, but this book was so good. I rated it 5 stars or 4.75, I don't remember correctly. But this is so brilliant because by the end of the 24 hours, by the end of the book, the entire Riva mansion goes up into flames. And this is not a spoiler, so it's on the blurb. But that's what happens, and the family dynamics, the Riva siblings are just there for each other. They show up, and it's just really brilliant. And I think everybody needs to read that, because what Taylor Jenkins Reid does best is she just gives you such strong, flawed, and well fleshed out characters that I think are just deserve separate appreciation. And yeah, I just really wanted to go to the beach after I was done with this book, and I really wanted to become a surfer. And if you know me, I have no physical abilities. I am not a sporty person at all, but I really wanted to go to a beach and become a surfer. So next up, I want to talk about 2 books by Emily Henry, which is Funny Story and Happy Place. And honestly, Emily Henry is sometimes a hit or miss for me, because there are some of the books that I absolutely adore and some that I absolutely detest. But the 2 I'm going to talk about in this video are the ones that I absolutely love. Emily Henry is truly just the queen of romance, and she has truly mastered the romance with emotional depth genre, because her books have so much going on, because it's not just about the one couple and their life. There's so much going on, and it's just wonderful. First Emily Henry book I want to talk about is Happy Place, and Harriet and Win are just in the perfect relationship. They've been together forever, they are called sweethearts, and they broke up 6 months ago. But what they don't want to do is they don't want to tell their best friends, because what their friend group does is they go once a year and they go on this trip to the cottage, and they go there and they have fun. The entire gang is there. So, and also that's when 2 of their best friends are about to get married. So to not ruin their wedding day, they decided that, oh, we're just gonna pretend to be together so that their day isn't ruined. So that's what happens, and you just know when pretending takes a different turn, right? Because that's exactly what happens. And this is just about messy love, friendship, and just realizing how far you go for love. And just the drama is chef's kiss. And I just discovered this book when I was going through a friendship dilemma of sorts, and this just hit the spot for me. I rated 5 stars immediately. I bawled my eyes out, and this was just incredible. Next Emily Henry book I want to talk about is Funny Story, and this book is just such an emotional roller coaster, because the protagonist, Daphne, her life is in just complete shambles because her fiance is completely and utterly in love with someone else. And that's when she finds herself stranded in a different city. She has a job which she doesn't exactly love, and she's stranded in that city with her ex-fiance's childhood best friend, and they are now roommates, which sounds such a typical rom-com setup, but it's just so good. And so basically, Miles, the ex-fiance's childhood best friend, he is everything Daphne isn't. And Daphne is really practical, she's closed off, and she's mysterious. And but Miles, he's very open. He prefers to mope around and really feel the grief. He's gonna listen to emotionally gut-wrenching songs about heartbreak. And what they start to do is they decide that, oh, we're actually going to post misleading photos about our perfect summer to make their exes jealous. And what starts as a cover up, it just turns into something much more complicated. And it's just so funny, it's hilarious, and it's heartfelt, and it's so messy, but in the best way. Will Daphne fall in love with her ex's new fiance's ex is something you're gonna have to read to find out, because it's just really wonderful. And it's said to be one of her best books yet, which I'm Sure, but I personally think I like Happy Place better. But there's also a new Emily Henry book coming in April. It's called Great Big Beautiful Life. I'm so excited, and she's finally done away with like her two-word book title. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one. What I want to talk about is Just for the Summer by Abby Emmons, and I've already talked about this book again so much, and I just went in to this book with like really high expectations, but somehow it just like managed to even surpass those, because this book has become such a huge book talk phenomena, and it still like blew my mind away. It was so beautiful, it was so gut wrenching, and it was so incredibly real. And this is just like a must read if you love romance. And so basically, Justin and Emma, the two main characters, they have a curse. So what happens is, every person they date, when they break up, that person ends up finding their soulmate. They come up with like a ridiculous plan that, oh, we'll actually just date each other, then we'll break up after like 4 dates, and we'll just let our curses cancel each other's out. And it was supposed to be a temporary fling, but again, it was supposed to be just for the summer. But again, we know how that ends, and it's just so good. And honestly, I just really want Justin for myself, because that guy is perfection, and it's just it's so good. And it just like starts with a carefree fling, but it develops into so much more. And Justin is like so swoon worthy. He's like charming, he's caring, and he is so supportive of Emma. And he is just the kind of guy who like do little things that make like a relationship strong. So he goes up to her hospital because she's a nurse, and he knows that she won't have time. So he packs her lunch, he packs lunch for her best friend as well, and it's just so good. And I really love Justin. So as Emma, on the other hand, she is such a real and relatable character, because she is dealing with a lot of abandonment issues. She has her own emotional wounds. She is suffering a lot because her mother is like isn't the best, and she made me just like cry with her, and you could just like feel her strength and resilience in her page. And she is such a kind and empathetic character, and that's precisely why I love fiction so much, because you just get to experience and learn so much about kindness and empathy from fiction. And their relationship, their romance is just like absolutely perfect. They are just perfection, and I think it's gonna be one of my all-time favorite romance books of all time. And it's just like it's beautiful is all I can say, because it really is very beautiful. So please read Just for the Summer. And I think Abby Emmons is my new auto by author, because I read 3 of her books and I loved every one of them, but I think Just for the Summer is definitely my favorite. So next we're going to talk about is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. And Christina Lauren again does romance books so well, and I think we're going in a pattern, because wait, I have a lot of romance recommendation, but you can also find something good if you're looking for something non-romance. So yeah, back to Paradise Problem. Basically, in this book, there's fake dating, there's inheritance drama. What happens is, the main character, the female main character, she marries the main character for just like one reason. She marries him for subsidized housing while she was at UCLA. They parted ways after graduation, but what happens is, Liam is living his best life. There's a catch. Liam needs to stay married to unlock his $1 million inheritance. So what he does is he turns to his ex. They enter into a fake marriage, and for Anna, it means that she gets a place to live, because she is just like scraping bottom. She's extremely broke right now, just because she's a surviving artist. And what happens with Liam? He gets inheritance. And this book is just like a perfect balance of humor, sizzling chemistry, and emotional depth, because she has nailed the fake marriage trope so well. The banter is hilarious, and I just like love a fake marriage with like a side of family drama, steamy tension, and a touch of humor. It's very spicy. This book is just like a complete winner, and the experience reading this was really nice. And I feel like Christina Lauren books are also sometimes a hit or miss, but this one was a definite hit. So The Paradise Problem was just like incredible. It was so funny, it was so hilarious. And like I said, I've been like on a romance grind with the recommendation, but if you're looking for something more literary, I feel like Summer by Ali Smith is the one, because it just like takes you back to the world of Ali Smith's interconnected stories. And just like trust me, because this is one of those books that's gonna linger in your mind, like even when you turn the last page, because this story basically is about a teenager who is deeply concerned about the environment, and her family is like in a constant state of turmoil. Something bad keeps on happening, and there's a brother Robert who's got his own problems because he is dabbling in far right politics and he is obsessing over Albert Einstein. So all of this, she is just like, her family is thrusted into an unexpected journey that takes them to Suffolk, where just like conversations flow and connections start to form in unexpected ways. The real magic of Summer, I feel like, is in her signature style because it's done so well. It has like interwoven timelines. The characters from past books like make experiences, and there's like a deep dive into history, philosophy, and politics. We also get like glimpses into real life figures such as Einstein, Charles Dickens, and adds like a really reflective and like really philosophical tone to the book. And this isn't just like completely all heavy because there are moments of hope, and it shows how there's a sense of possibility even when like everything's falling apart, and there is possibly a chance for something better to come your way. And this is just gonna make you like ponder about life, and it's just one of those books. Next we're gonna talk about is Wildfire by Hannah Grace, and this isn't my favorite Hannah Grace book because that like designation belongs to Daydream. Because Daydream was absolute perfection. And okay, so basically in Wildfire we follow two college students, Russ and Aurora, and they are two students who have a one night stand. Russ isn't the kind of character who would just like sleep around with anybody, not the kind of guy to have a one night stand, but they do, and they just like decide that, oh, we're actually not gonna meet again because where else would we just like bump into each other. But the plot twist is when they end up as co-counselors at the same but the plot twist is when they end up as co-counselors at the same summer camp, and they're just like both looking for escape because their lives are very messy back home. And basically Russ is just like really trying to avoid the chaos of his father's gambling addiction, and Aurora is just like really desperate for peace. Because add in like a no staff hookup rule, and the tension just like is so sizzling. Every time they're in the same room, you're just like internally screaming because they're just like that good. And she breaks her rules. She finds herself with Russ's sweet grounded vibe, and it's just like pure chemistry. And also about love, it's about healing, it's about vulnerability, and about how if actually love can survive outside the fantasy of that summer camp. Basically, if you love forced proximity, if you love like slow burn with like angsty moments, I think this book is just for you. And this is wonderful because Russ is such a brilliant character. I think he's such an incredible book boyfriend, and if you're looking for a new book boyfriend, I think Russ is gonna be it. So yeah, that's Wildfire. And so the next we're going to talk about is Room on the Sea by Andre Asaman. And fun fact, so I have this beautiful arc of, you see it, it says April 2025. So I have this wonderful arc of Room on the Sea, and I can't believe I have an arc of Andre Asaman. So it's just like insane. But anyway, so basically if you really love Call Me By Your Name, I think Room on the Sea is also gonna be wonderful and it's gonna hit the spot for you, because basically this is all about like the what if kind of love in like summer where time just like feels suspended and there's just like so much longing. What happens is Paul is reading a newspaper and Catherine is reading a novel. So basically they are two strangers, they are waiting for jury duty, and they are worlds apart but they are just like drawn together, and that's when their lives completely change. So it's set over just like 1 week, and through that 1 week so much happens, and Paul and Catherine have casual conversations, but that changes into like an intimate aching affair. They're both middle aged, they both have like past baggage, and but in the like stifling haze of the summer week they just like carve out time for each other. They find something so sacred for each other, and it's just like quiet, it's slow, it's about longing. And he, like Andre Asaman, has just like done yearning so well. If you want a book about yearning, I think Room on the Sea is definitely gonna be it. And it's just like, it's not completely all about fireworks, because that's not what like relationships can be, right? It can't be just like fireworks and like steaminess all the time. So it's just like about yearning and longing. So what you need to expect is you find like late in life romance, because both of the characters are middle aged. So you find summer heat, you find seduction, you find like quiet yearning and longing, and just like that ultimate Andre Asaman style of writing, the bittersweet vibe of his writing, of his prose. And this is just one of those books, and it's just gonna hurt, but in the best way, and I think it was really, really good. Okay, so the next book I'm gonna talk about is Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano, I think. Yeah. So basically this was the Oprah book club, and I think Oprah definitely picked it up for a reason, because this is for people who just like love family epics, like slow burning emotion, and the kind of stories that just like tug at your heartstring. And so basically what happens is, the character William, he grows up in a house where like silence is so much louder than love. His parents are still paralyzed by a past tragedy, and they just like barely acknowledge his existence, and that changes when he meets Julia. So basically she's the girl who like seems to hum with energy and purpose. Through her he finds out not just romance, but also like family, and what it actually means to have like a familial bond with somebody, and when it's not with your own family. So that's when you meet the Paduano sisters, and the sisters are so different. They are so like unique in their characters, and this is said to be like a modern Little Women retelling. Not a retelling, but it's said to be like a modern Little Women. And I think I see why, because it really has like similar elements, and this is just like a book about pain and about power, about how like chosen families can just like change your life. And it's about sisters who love fiercely, about how they're going to protect each other, about trauma, about what it takes to heal from that trauma. And if you just like love Little Women, I think you're gonna really love Hello Beautiful, because it just like has really similar vibes. So Hello Beautiful is for all of my classics Little Women fans. I have an honorary mention because I had worked on this book when I was working at Penguin, when I was interning at Penguin, and the book is called The Summer of Letting Go by Catherine DeLosa. So basically this is a ghost story, and it's like wrapped in grief, love and tea, because this is very quirky, but it's also really, really gut-wrenching at the same time. So what happens is, 18-year-old Kali, she just like takes a part-time job, and she does this to stay close to her uncle Drew, whose ghost just like happens to haunt the tea shop. And that's the only part of Kali's life that still makes sense to her, because that's when she also meets Luca, or like a moody, magnetic character who just like is brooding in like the perfect way. He's a brooding college boy, and that's when she meets him, and that's when like Kali's safe space is just like under fire, because there's this new person, Luca, there. And it isn't just like a story about letting go of someone you really, really love, and it's also about what if, when you try to hold on to somebody, the cost is just too high, because you might end up losing your own individuality. And it's just like really witty, it's weird, it's tender. And if you've just like ever lost someone or struggled with growing up and you're not ready to grow up, I think this book is gonna hit the spot for you, and this book is gonna hit like deeply in your soul. And yeah, so if you also really like They Both Die at the End, I think you're also really gonna love The Summer of Letting Go. So yeah, if your summer plans are just like mostly vibes and just like reading in bed, I think this list might help you with a few recommendations, and you might find a new book boyfriend, you might cry a little. And yeah, so that's it for my summer TBR, because at the end of the day, nothing says like a main character moment like having a good summer TBR, and like having a good stack of books for your summer TBR. And yeah, so I hope you all get a beach vacation just like me, and I hope I also get a beach vacation, because I am so sick and tired of being in Delhi. So yeah, but also if you've read any of these books, if you've liked any of these books, disliked any of these books, do let me know in the comments, and let's talk. Please like and subscribe if you want, and send this to your bookish friends who need to like become a reader this summer, or if they're already a reader, maybe they'll also find a new book recommendation here. So yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a good summer, and wish me luck, because Delhi summers are kicking my ass. And yeah, so now I'm gonna go, and yeah, thank you for watching, and bye.